Being able to go to a university where you know that you have champions in your corner, that is a priority for me.
They really need to launch campaigns, they need to engage with students and understand what they need and what they want and how they're being let down.
Being trans student is not just about like expressing our appearance or uniform, but it's more about like how the university and people at the university accepting you for who you really are, not just about your look. So that is what I think is the most important thing for you to be here and learn and being successful in your academic journey.
I think if you're not yourself trans or gender non-conforming and you don't know people who are gender non-conforming, I think the most important thing to know is just how magical it is to be trans. That I remember being asked very early on in my transition by my therapist, what's my favourite thing about being trans? And I said that my favourite thing is that it's like being the main character in a fantasy novel where you get to write your own destiny and become the person who you've always wanted to be, despite the whole world trying to tell you that you're never going to be that person trying to take you down the whole time. And I think that magic is the most important thing to understand about transness.
As a non-binary student, I feel that if we didn't have to continuously fight for small things like having our pronouns in classrooms or in activities and events and have them come initially from whoever's leading these things, it would just be way easier.
Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes when you are getting used to someone's pronouns, but it's important to keep trying. And also when someone gets your pronouns wrong once, that's one thing, but when it happens over and over and over again, it feels a bit like 1,000 paper cuts.
There's no one way to be trans and non-binary. What you assume is trans and non-binary identity, throw that out the window, and then kind of start with a fresh slate.
Because we grow up differently from the cisgender, so when it's about our experience or the talking to us, I think they should consider about our privacy or even the traumatized we had before.
So the Stonewall Workplace Equality Index is a program by which Stonewall ranks how friendly employers are for LGBTQ plus people. UCL withdrew from this program, saying that they preferred to measure its own progress against how friendly it was for LGBTQ plus people, rather than have an external source do it. One of the arguments was that they were worried about academic freedom. I'd heard that there were reports of increased anti-trans comments, people generally just feeling less safe and less welcome on campus.
So I think the lack of specific gender-inclusive policy and practice when it comes to teaching has really affected my perceived safety at this university. In a seminar in my first year, shortly after I came out, I had a student make a bunch of personal attacks and throw transphobic comments around in the seminar, and the previous week there'd been homophobic comments and misogynistic comments. The PGTA just sat there and let the conversation play out, and since that's happened, I've never really felt safe going to a seminar. There's always been a mistrust that this kind of thing could happen again.
I think there's a fair bit of anti-trans rhetoric at UCL. I think sometimes it is ignored or protected under the name of academic freedom. I think it makes people feel unsafe, and UCL needs to address that more.
Go to induction week. It's a really nice place for you to visit the student union, the student community, for example, like Trans Health, Trans Youth.
This is more on the support side of things, but I've been really impressed at how they've added more signposting on the student support and wellbeing website, how they've made it a lot easier for people to change their name and their titles.
I can dress whatever I want and be whatever I want, and I will be heard and accepted by most of them.
I think it's important for them to really take a stance on issues and not just simply issue sort of fairly platitudinous statements on the website, that they really need to launch campaigns, they need to engage with students and understand what they need and what they want and how they're being let down.
I think it would be nice to have more support from the trans ally or the more representation from a senior management team at UCL.
So I'd start by suggesting they reach out to Student Support and Wellbeing. In my experience, they're incredibly understanding and supportive. They really helped me in the first phases of my transition, getting details changed, just providing someone to talk to.
Coming from Thailand, the weather here in London is totally different from my country. I'm glad that I learned that UCL have the gender expression fund that allow you to apply for the funding to use for your expression as a trans or non-binary or gender non-conforming person.
I think the presence of Students' Union, LGBTQ pub nights, spaces, and events across all different societies are really helpful in making me meet people who I share experiences with and feel part of a bigger community.
Okay, expensive. Okay, now I answer now, right?
Free. I really I would be set free.
My experience living in London has been one where I feel like I've had the space to explore my gender expression a great deal, and I've been accepted and supported throughout that.
Yeah, in London there are lots of sources of support for trans and non-binary people. There are groups like Spectra that offer counseling or mentoring for trans and non-binary people. There are groups like London Friend, Switchboard, and the LGBTQ plus Center as well. Lots of places to find advice, support, and community.
Pride in London is actually a really good way to show your support as an institution for trans people and the wider sort of LGBTQ community. So out at UCL and another staff network, we came together and we actually marched, sort of wanting to show our support and our empowerment for trans staff and students.
I did participate in the Pride March and the Trans March before, so I think that would be a great place to go.
So actually, the one thing that's really brought me trans joy and something that actually helped me come out as trans to my wider family is a book series called Tales of the City. I actually have one of my favourite of the books here. There is just a joy that comes from reading a series about an older trans woman who lives her life to the fullest, has so many whimsical romances, and is graceful with age. It's just something that means a lot to me.
So this is my student card. I came from the country where we don't have like a legal gender recognition law yet, so we cannot change our gender marker or name title. So when I come here, I have a chance to go to the registration office or website that I can pick my preferred name. So my real name is Chisanupong Nitiwana, but here it's like best Chisanupong Nitiwana.
The Little Mermaid would be the most related to me because she also wants to change her identity from the mermaid to a human, and that has been my motivation through whole my life.
Allow me to jump on the current popular bandwagon, the show Heartstopper, which brings, I think, lots of people in the LGBTQ community, in the wider community, joy because it showcases childhood school experiences that are often not seen on TV from both trans people and then wider people within the community itself.
There's an author called April Daniels. She has 2 books out called Dreadnought and Sovereign. They are young adult trans superhero novels. They are delightful.